On the other side, ladies and gentlemen, after India banned the controversial BBC documentary on Prime Minister Modi, the US and the UK have made it clear that they won't endorse this documentary. Earlier today, the US State Department snubbed any references to the documentary and hailed India's shared values with the United States. Remember, this also comes just days after the UK Prime Minister also rejected any motivated attempt to discredit India. Listen in.
Does the Prime Minister agree with his diplomats in the Foreign Office that Modi was directly responsible, and just what more does the Foreign Office know of his involvement in this grave act of ethnic cleansing?
Well, Mr. Speaker, the UK government's position on this has been clear and long-standing and hasn't changed. Of course, we don't tolerate persecution where it appears anywhere, but I'm not sure I agree at all with the characterisation that the honourable gentleman has put forward.
I'm not aware of this documentary that you point to, but what I will say broadly is that there are a number of elements that undergird the global strategic partnership that we have with our Indian partners. There are close political ties, there are economic ties, there are exceptionally deep people-to-people ties between the United States and India. But one of those additional elements are the values that we share, the values that are common to American democracy and to Indian democracy. India, of course, is the world's largest democracy. It's a vibrant democracy. And again, we look to everything that ties us together, and we look to reinforce all of those elements that tie us together.
And when asked a question today at the Bharat Jodo Yatra press conference, Rahul Gandhi, of course, commented as he would have loved to jump into this debate, saying that the truth has a way of coming out. Only the truth by the Supreme Court is not probably what Mr. Rahul Gandhi had heard in the past. Listen in to Mr. Gandhi.
The truth always comes out. So you can ban, you can suppress the press, you can control the institutions, you can use CBI, ED, all this stuff. But the truth is the truth. Truth shines bright. It has a nasty habit of coming out.
Rahul Gandhi in Jammu Kashmir has spoken about the 2002 riots and is saying that truth can never be hidden. The fact is, the truth is that SIT gave his report. The Supreme Court from SIT gave his report to Supreme Court, on basis of which the Supreme Court gave a clean chit to then Chief Minister Narendra Modi. Rahul Gandhi will never speak about the Dhingra Committee report, which was recently submitted to Supreme Court and which categorically states that there was some hand, there was some invisible hand which was trying to withhold the justice.
You're watching the News Hour at 9, debate number 2 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
And joining the debate on the BBC ban is Advocate Mohammad Adil Hassan of the AIMIM. And I want to ask you, Advocate Mohammad Adil Hassan, आज और हर चुनाव से पहले ये मुद्दा क्यों आता है? 2002 के बाद 2007, 2012, 14, 19 और अब 2024 के चुनाव से पहले, हर चुनाव से पहले, और ये पहली बार नहीं है कि बीबीसी की डॉक्यूमेंट्री आई है, इससे पहले एसबीडब्ल्यू की डॉक्यूमेंट्री आई, उससे पहले किसी ने किताब लिखी, उससे पहले तमाम तरीकों से ये मुद्दा कोर्ट में गया. एसआईटी, सुप्रीम कोर्ट, हर कोर्ट ने बरी किया, पर वो सच नहीं नजर आता, खाली बीबीसी का सच आपको समझ आता है, ऐसा क्यों?
नहीं, ये तो सच्चाई है. आप 2013 का वीडियो जाके नरेंद्र मोदी जी का देखिए. बीबीसी का कसीदा कितना अच्छे से वो पढ़ रहे थे, वो दूरदर्शन और आकाशवाणी को कितना निम्न दिखा रहे थे. अब मेरे पास वीडियो है, बोलिए तो मैं आपको भेज देता हूं. क्योंकि मोदी जी को वक्त के साथ मोदी जी को बदलने की आदत है. मोदी जी को जो सूट करता है वही करते हैं. आखिर बीबीसी डॉक्यूमेंट्री में इतनी बेचैनी क्यों है प्रधानमंत्री को? गोडसे से बड़ा प्रेम है. गांधी जी को जाकर मालार्पण करते हैं, उनके मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट गोडसे का जो चालीसा पढ़ते हैं तो प्रधानमंत्री कुछ नहीं बोलते हैं. उनकी भोपाल की एमपी जाकर कर्नाटका शिमोगा में क्या क्या किया आपने देखा. आप आके हिंदू महासभा के लोग ने मेरठ में क्या क्या चौक का नाम क्या
बीबीसी
कहा,
की डॉक्यूमेंट्री से क्या लेना देना है मुझे समझ में नहीं आता, पर अभिजीत अय्यर मित्रा, इज इट अ कोइंसिडेंस दैट बिफोर एवरी इलेक्शन देयर इज अ toolkit that comes out, and that toolkit somehow wants to damage not just brand Modi but also brand India, at least at a time when India has the G20 presidency, when India's economy is the 5th largest economy, when the Indian growth rate is something the world is talking about. I can understand that there are global enemies that India would have, which would be upset about all of these achievements. But back home in India, why are our political parties up in arms?
Look, there's two reasons for this, Navika. Number one, nobody's buying this story in India anymore. So, when for example, that your street vendor is selling you sada hua rajma ya sada hua dal, and you don't want to buy it from him, you have to find a new market of gullible foreigners to sell it to. I remember going for a wedding in Italy where I claimed that I was a Maharaja, I claimed I was a prince. And the next day in the newspaper out there, the Tyrrhenian, it's called the Tyrrhenian, it's the local paper of the Tuscan coast, they published VIP wedding with Indian prince in attendance. This is the caliber of the Western press. So they found some foreign gonchus to publish this story. This is number one. You see, there is a great propensity for stupidity out there. This is number one. Number two, they have to keep flogging a dead horse because they don't have anything since then. So they keep harking back to, 20 years. Nobody wants to talk about the riots. Gujarat had massive riots under the Congress before that. In 69 riots in Gujarat under a Congress government, some 500 people died. Then in the 1985 riots in Gujarat, a few hundred people died again. They don't want to talk about that. In 1984, kitne log mare the, they don't want to talk about that. Everything is based only on the last thing that they can find to attack Modi. They tried on everything. They tried Rafale, they tried farmer protests, they tried NCCA, NRC, didn't work. So you have to take it back to this. This is something that sells right now to a foreign press. It doesn't sell in India anymore. I think you will find that every newspaper or website that carries stories about this ends up losing readers and things. But for the BBC, it is new viewership and suitable.
Tehseen, no takers in India, still flogging a dead horse?
Look, for me, once the Supreme Court has made a judgment, that stays. And if anyone has any evidence, you should go to the Honorable Supreme Court and present that evidence. So when this documentary came out 6 days ago, I was wondering what is new in this documentary. However, there is one point, and I want to address this to the government of India very seriously, because I know the Honorable Prime Minister and his office watch your show, so it's a little serious. When you try to ban something on the internet, you see this wouldn't have got traction. When you try to ban something, people will see it. You know it, ma'am, nothing on the internet can be hidden. And you are using emergency powers to ban something that can never be hidden and will go to everybody. Are you going to check people's mobiles and see who's seen it, who's not seen it? So one, the government of India is absolutely ridiculous in how it handled things. And two, when the Supreme Court has ruled something and the government of India and Gaurav has faith in the Supreme Court, why do you want to change the Supreme Court system that has ruled everything in your favor? You are the one and your law ministers are attacking it. The same law minister who is now coming out against this documentary. So this government actually is directionless. It has no idea of what it's doing. And please stop banning things. Bans don't work.
Introspection would help, because many
bans work?
Many films that were made on the Honorable Gandhi family have also been banned.
And they're wrong.
Including the script of a couple that I know have been stalled in the making. But Gaurav Bhatia,
don't make a right, man.
Gaurav Bhatia, Tehseen Poonawalla is questioning the ban.
Yes. So, Navika, I'll come to what Tehseen said. But first of all, do you know, self goal ke pehle ek hi hai India mein, and he is Rahul Gandhi. I'll give you the reason. Every Indian believes in the Honorable Supreme Court. There was an SIT that was formed under the aegis of Supreme Court itself, and Narendra Modi ji was not only given a clean chit, but it was said that there was political vendetta and he was targeted by the Congress party and the government that was formed by Congress party. Now, why is it a self-goal? I'll tell you. If Rahul Gandhi today believes the BBC and not the Supreme Court, there were, and I say this very responsibly, there were rape charges on Rahul Gandhi. And do you know the Honorable Supreme Court upheld that those rape charges are not correct?
So every citizen believed the Honorable Supreme Court. But today, when he doubts the Honorable Supreme Court, he is wanting to say that no, Supreme Court giving me a clean chit doesn't make a difference and the rape charges are correct. Second, you know, what is BBC? BBC is barbarian bullshit corporation, according to us. And
unparliamentary words on national television. आप ही की सरकार हमें अंदर कर देगी गौरव भाटिया जी प्लीज.
Why did Modi ji praise BBC?
सुनिए मेरी बात सुन लीजिए. आई थिंक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट बात कहने जा रहा हूं. कोई दिया सूरज को रोशनी नहीं दिखाता है. बीबीसी विल नॉट गिव अ सर्टिफिकेट टू द इलेक्टेड प्राइम मिनिस्टर of the country and to our democracy. And to the BBC, I would like to give their credentials. Do you know Indira Gandhi banned the BBC? Are you aware the BBC had reported and said that Gandhi failed in his attempt to liberate India and he wasn't effective? Do you know BBC said that a terrorist who attacked our country during the 26/11 attack was actually a charismatic young militant, and that is why I say we do not deserve.
Absolutely. Do we need an old formula to flog a new horse of the elections of 2024? Well, the Congress would do well to look for ammunition somewhere else, because this one has been beaten to death over the last 21 years and India has moved on. Can political parties in the opposition also move on? Let's hope and wait. Thank you very much to my panelists for joining me on debate number 2.